from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon session of the regular meeting, Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, the Kern County Board of Supervisors. Board to reconvene. First item is roll call.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener. Supervisor Flores.
That mic's not working, but yes.
He's here.
There you go. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
The next item is actions taken, a report on actions taken in closed session. Ms. Rezan.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This morning in closed session, you met on items 59 and 60, but there is no reportable action.
Thank you. The next item is the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. Consent agenda starts on page 2, and it consists of items, well, let's say it this way. There are 67 items on our agenda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 49, and 50 are not on the consent agenda. Everything else is on the consent agenda, and I have one correction to read into the agenda. Item 24, the requested action or the recommended action is all in capitals. You can strike out all of that and simply insert continue. The staff recommendation is now to continue the item to Tuesday, June 28th at June 18th at 2 p.m. So every item on our agenda between 1 and 67, with the exception of 1, 2, 3, 4, 49, and 50, is the consent agenda. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on anything on our consent agenda? Now's the time to do so. Seeing Supervisor Perez. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Thank you.
My apologies.
I don't know how you want to handle this, but I would like to have comments on 38. We have two folks here so I don't know if you want me to pull the item or we want to call them up now to make comments on 38 and some projects that we've been working on. I don't want to pull it from consent necessarily, but.
Why don't we ask them to come now and make their comments, and if we think we need more time
Great.
or discussion, we'll do that.
Just be a couple minutes.
You
Thank
bet.
you for your indulgence,
Yep.
Chair. Yeah, come on down. Come on down, guys. They're coming down right now. No, he's going to go. Come on down.
Hello.
Thank you, Chairman, for your
Sure.
indulgence. This is for item number 38. These folks are two of the most incredible partners I have ever worked with in this county. Their heart for incarcerated youth is bar none. I don't know anybody who cares the way that you do, Jeanette. And the partnership and team that you bring, and I'm really eagerly looking forward to hearing from both of you here. But if you could please just give the board and the public just a quick sense of what it is you're doing from the Arts Council, and of course, you know, add a little meat to that with actual testimony, it would just be so helpful. Thank you.
Oh, this takes me back all the way to Mayor Bob Price and Harvey Hall, who said,
Ms. Richardson, can you state your name for the record,
I'm
just so
so
everybody knows?
Hi, I'm Jeanette Richardson, Arts Council of Kern, Executive Director. My cohort here is Sean Nevaez. He is with Program Manager for our Arts and Corrections and Art for Rehabilitation in Juvenile Justice. Thank you for all of you. I appreciate all of the work that you do all the time. I get to visit with you all, and I so appreciate that. The Arts Council of Kern's mission is to provide access, advocacy, and education in the arts and through the arts for our public, for our residents in Kern County. We have many programs. We actually bring over $1 million worth of jobs into Kern County. We put people to work, and it's called creative economy. And one of the things we talked with you last year was how do we get our young people and our people in prisons not to go back, but to find jobs outside of corrections. And the creative economy is one of those ways that we were able to find a way to do that. And I didn't know I was going to speak. What I started to say before was, they used to say, just give Jeanette a microphone and she can talk, but not always.
Well, just what are we doing in the system?
Well, what I want you to know is we go in, and right now Sean has been going in teaching hip hop and teaching these young people how to create and write lyrics. And the big part is the transformation that we're seeing. Sean, do you mind if I share that one story?
I can share it.
Oh, good, good. He wasn't
okay.
sure he wanted to
Please
speak.
do, Sean.
Please.
So I teach hip hop, and two of the kids were gonna fight, I guess, and then the other boys recommended that they just settle it through a rap battle. So they rap battled, and they got along, and they're best friends now, actually. So just stuff like that. We're crossing like gang lines, like people that normally wouldn't talk to each other to collaborate on songs. And it's really affecting their behavior. We had a mental health specialist come in on Friday, and she said that that they're doing great, and all of them that are in the class are charting off the roof. And as far as mental health, and just doing better. And that's all I really got. Thank you.
The partnership you have with probation is so real, it's so authentic, and it's so beautiful. I really invite my colleagues to look at the video that you came and showed me, Sean, not that long ago, where I cried, obviously, watching it. The artistic ability, the excitement, the hope of these young people, it is totally extraordinary.
Yeah.
Only people with the biggest hearts would do such a thing, and I'm so grateful for you. I just wanted my colleagues to get a sense of it.
Yeah.
Well, what you didn't hear from Sean right there, just really quickly, is East Siders and West Siders on that rap battle. The first person, the rap battle, what's that? So a rap battle, they had, the East Side kid had West Siders helping him come up with his words, and vice versa.
Wow.
And then they voted on who was the best rap. Instead of duking it out or finding a way to harm each other, they're learning ways to use positivity and to use their voices for better expression rather than violence. So just warms my heart every time we get to hear these stories.
Happy to be a small partner in what you're doing. I'm just so grateful to you, Sean. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And we're just going to continue to grow it.
Wonderful.
So,
We
thank you.
appreciate it so much. We appreciate the county support because you are the reason we are a state and local partner, and we're bringing in a couple $1 million a year now to bring into our county to put people to work and to create transformation through the arts. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairman.
You bet. So where are we? We don't have a motion yet on the consent calendar. Does anyone else have a statement or question about the consent calendar items?
Consent, item number 22 and number 23. Is that appropriate for me to?
Please tell us what your questions or comments are.
Comments, concerns.
State your name.
David Abbasi, D-A-V-I-D, A-B-B-A-S-I. You can call me Spartacus. So, number 22, $500,000 a year? About $500,000 a year for a psychiatrist.
We're on the afternoon agenda, Mr. Bossi.
Is that from this morning?
I don't have any, I've got the afternoon
It
agenda.
does,
in
it does
front
look
of me.
like it was 9 a.m. It says regular 9 a.m. Well, can I say something about that real quick?
You can do that under public statements,
Okay,
which would be item 2 on our agenda.
I'll hold it for then.
Thank you. Is there anyone here who would like to make a public comment or ask a question about any item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll return it to the board. And you have the correction read into the record? Okay. Board? Anybody?
Motion on consent?
Yeah, motion on consent. Second.
You have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you. That takes us back to the top of page 2 to item 1, which is under the resolutions and proclamations portion of the meeting. Item 1 proclaims May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Recognition Week in Kern County. Supervisor Flores will make this presentation.
Motion on proclamation?
Second.
Discuss your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scrivener.
I can't see him from here, but is Mr. Aguirre here? No? Okay, thank you. If he comes, would you just have him come down to the front row so he can, we understood that he wanted to make a comment about this item. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman and colleagues. It gives me great pleasure to introduce this proclamation on National Public Works Week. Public works professionals include those who manage building permitting, inspection, water, sewer, transportation, refuse, and those that are responsible for maintaining public buildings and grounds. It really touches everything that county government is about, delivering public services, code enforcement, permitting, graffiti. It all happens here, the day in, the day out of providing government services. Within this county organization, these professionals are represented within the Airports Department, Public Works, General Services, County Administrative Office, who all work together with other jurisdictions to provide these valuable services. And if I could just share just a little snapshot, a day in the life of Public Works. I know all our offices use them to the best of our ability and for our constituents. But just yesterday, we celebrated 2 important walkways to connecting Muncie Elementary School. So I just want to say, applaud our Public Works Department, because they not only do their job, they hear, they listen to our concerns, they analyze, and they construct and implement. At the end of the day, they deliver good projects for our citizens. In this case, this was safe routes to school. They cleaned up an alleyway. They did pavement. They abated the graffiti. They just made life a little bit better for the students and people in that neighborhood. So I wanted to say thank you, Josh. You're the tip of the spear. Sal Gomez, Kimberly Baldwin, you all made it happen. So just thank you. So on behalf of our Board of Supervisors and our Chairman, David Couch, we want to declare May 19th through the 25th as National Public Works Week in Kern County, signed by our Chairman this date, May 21st. And I'll present this to our Director, Josh Chamlin.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores, for those words. Chairman Couch, members of the board, I'd just like to take this opportunity to just thank all the employees in Public Works. We have over 550 dedicated employees in the department. And today I have with me Yolanda Alcantar. Yolanda is a 27-year county employee, and I think she's probably met all of you at some point or another, but she is a Public Works manager, and she has a vital job in getting us funding, federal funding, state funding to do all the projects we do, and she also gets tied up in a lot of the environmental issues that we have on a daily basis in the state of California. So I'll turn it over to Yolanda, and she has a little presentation to make to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. It's an honor to be here today to talk about our awesome Public Works staff and why they're worthy of national recognition. The American Public Works Association is a network of professionals dedicated to excellence in advancing the quality of life. Public Works Week is being recognized this week to acknowledge the importance of public work professionals and highlight the impact we have in the community. We provide essential services to over 900 county residents, from building and development to construction, road maintenance, and solid waste maintenance. We have 6 main divisions: administration, finance, development, transportation, capital projects, solid waste. We have 13 subdivisions and have offices, road yards, and solid waste facilities throughout the county. It takes more than 500 staff to provide these essential services, such as in the development division, we have 5 main functions: building inspection, code compliance, engineering, surveying, Kern Sanitation Authority. Public safety is the driving force behind building inspection and code compliance. Staff has to enforce zoning and codes. Annually, they conduct over 3,000 inspections, issue over 10,000 permits, and over 10,000 cases result in abatement. Our engineers review sewer, water, and grading plans for permitting. Our surveyors create base maps for all of our department projects and create official tract, parcel, and record of survey maps. Finally, in KSA, our staff treat over 5 million gallons of wastewater per day via 6 treatment plants, maintain 160 miles of sewer lines to provide services for 60,000 county residents. So that's just one division. Here's an example of a county service area. This is a photo of a recent sump that was maintained. This is one of 280 locations. In code enforcement, here's an example of some of the items that we handle: public complaints about open unsecured trash and debris, and handle violations for structures being built without permit, which could be a safety hazard. In our transportation division, Kern County Public Works maintains over 3,300 miles of roads, 325 streetlights, 150 bridges, 120 traffic signals. We currently have 57 projects that are funded for more than $150 million that are underway. Some of our larger projects include $11 million ongoing right now in Lamont, $9 million for ADA railroad crossings in Norris Road and Oildale, and $5 million to sidewalks in Lake Isabella. We also provide curb-to-curb transportation via our Kern Transit, which offers 16 routes that connect 30 county communities. We serve over 500 riders annually, and right now, we have 2 programs that are offering free fares for the public, and that's this summer through June 30th. In our capital projects division, that includes our materials lab, design, and construction staff. Here, going back to Lake Isabella, as I mentioned earlier, this is a very disadvantaged community in the northeast Kern, and we secured grants to turn this dirt shoulder into a safe routes to school path. This is one of the largest grants we had received in fiscal year 18-19 for over $5 million to construct sidewalk, and there have been numerous pedestrian collisions in this area. This project will remove pedestrians from the roadway for improved safety. Also in our construction division, we do all types of projects. This is an example of a road resurfacing on Fraser Mountain Park Road. We spent over $670,000 on this project, and it typically includes newer reflective road signs, new striping with thermoplastic paint, which lasts 5 times longer than regular paint. And then sometimes we have very special events, like this past winter where we had 3 declared emergencies and a lot of flooding throughout Kern County, and included a hurricane of all things this year. And so it requires collaboration among several divisions. And our maintenance crews are the first ones on site to assess road damage, close down roads to protect the public from flood, fire, and snow. And when they responded to this canal on Buena Vista Road, it seemed like minor erosion at first, but it was actually a pipe failure to the center of the road, which you wouldn't have found had it been for this inspection, and which required our capital project divisions to step in and do a design build, which we don't get to do very often. And they turned this project around in record time in 5 months using emergency procedures. And so we're pretty proud of that. And so the culvert statistics were just over $500,000 for this location, and they got it done in 20 days. 3 large pipe culverts were built in headwalls in that particular project. Finally, for the capital projects division, they are currently designing and constructing a new road yard at Patton Way, and that will house road maintenance workers, rapid staff, encampment, our traffic and lab crews. And in our solid waste division, we have waste and recycling items where over 1 million tons of material are received at our solid waste facilities. We've diverted over 200 tons of material accepted. All disposal sites now offer free oil, paint, and antifreeze collection. And through SB 1383, we've spent $250,000 on educational outreach and $135,000 on new equipment. We also have a couple expansions and remediations coming up, including the Taft Landfill, Shafter-Wasco Compost Facility, the Mojave Roseman Landfill, and the Fraser Park Burn Dump. We perform numerous events throughout the year available to the public, such as bulky waste and household hazardous collection events. And internally, we have staff that conduct homeless encampment compliance and rapid crews that remove illegal dumping. Here's a picture of our new proposed special waste facility that we hope will come online in the next 3 years. Construction expected to begin next year. And finally, last but not least, our admin groups. We have numerous talented staff that are experts in HR, accounting, payroll, office services, tax roll, purchasing, audits, contract specialists, planners, techs, aides, outreach, and education. One large project takes approximately 90 staff to deliver one project. It truly takes a team that can work efficiently and effectively. And our Kern County public staff is definitely deserving of acknowledgement this week, especially when you consider last month that KernCog acknowledged Kern County Public Works as having the highest delivery rate of local projects, even a higher delivery rate than the state. I would also like to acknowledge our director, Josh Champlin, who stepped up to the plate just last year to take over our division. And it was a true challenge. He, along with our assistant directors, Sal Gomez and Lisa Schroeder, are leading an all-star team striving to advance the quality of life for all. Thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much for that. By the way, I hear at KernCog frequently that we complete over 100% of the
Yes.
projects.
Right.
And that's a testament really to your work, but that the fact that you were able to do that, many other people up and down the state can't complete their projects, therefore they can't get the funding. So we are, Kern County, and I mean that all the cities in Kern County as well as the county are able to access those funds oftentimes
Yes.
because they can't complete their project. So, but we can't do that if you don't finish the projects that you're already working on. So thank you for all that.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Supervisor Peters would like to make a comment, and then I know that there are some others in the audience that would like to comment as well. If you're in the audience and you would like to make a comment about this item, could I get you to come down to the front row so we can get you up quickly? Supervisor Peters, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to say that I've had a chance to work with Director Champlin and his team quite a bit. There's seems to be an inordinate amount of projects going on in the first district continually, whether it's state requirements or natural disasters, but you guys have absolutely been phenomenal, and I commend you for jumping into that role and taking these challenges on. And I know oftentimes it's a thankless job for you guys, but you really do keep the wheels turning in Kern County, so you guys are greatly appreciated.
Thank you. I know Gustavo Aguirre was going to be here, or he thought he was going to be here, and he wanted to make a comment to this. So if there are folks here in the audience that they're with him. Of course, you're not with him because he's not here. But if you would like to come to the microphone and make your comments, we'd invite you to do that right now. Thank you. You bet. Just give us your name and proceed.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Diana Mireles. I'm a community organizer with Center Race Poverty and Environmental. We apologize, Gustavo, he cannot be there this afternoon.
Tell him we miss him.
But we are here like community members. We want to thank, he's very grateful with all the support that Supervisor Couch and the CAO give us to our disadvantaged communities. This 5 years is gonna be long, but it's like going fast. It's a lot of changes in our communities. We never think these changes are gonna come into our communities. We are with us, our communities like ghost towns. So now we can say like, now Lamont, now Arvin, now Greenfield, now Shafter, they are here. So thank you for all your support. Thank you for every time that we ask for meetings, you're able to listen to the communities. Thank you to the CAOs to always have the time to hear for us too. Thank you for Yolanda Cantar, Public Works. We are so grateful with her. And just very quick, Comité Progreso of Lamont last year recognized Yolanda with a award because she's always available for us. So we want to say thank you for all the support, and we will continue to work with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Good.
Good afternoon.
Right.
My name is Bianca, and I am also in support of all this amazing work that the Board of Supervisors has done, and also Yolanda and her team. Without that, we will not have any improvements in these roads, especially where families and elderlies, and as you see right now, we have people from Arvin, Lamont, Shafter, all the areas around, surrounding areas, La Colonia Mexicana. You've seen it all and done amazing work, and we want to appreciate all the effort that you've done in improving all these projects, especially for rural communities that have been burned for years, are now being heard and have been lifted. And these voices are being heard from you guys, but also from the county staff like Yolanda and the support that they've done. Thank you.
Thank you. They do most of the work, about 99.9% of it.
Buenas tardes, estimados. Buenas tardes, estimados miembros de la mesa directiva de los supervisores.
Good afternoon, Chairman of Board of the Supervisors. Oh, sorry.
Somos Greenfield Walking Group
We are the Greenfield Walking Group,
y estamos aquí para dar también las gracias a cada uno de ustedes
and we're here to thank each one of you
por apoyar estos proyectos
to support all these projects
que hacen una gran diferencia en la vida de los residentes del condado de Kern.
that all these projects that do a big difference in the community of Kern.
Y quiero aprovechar para decir que tenía mucho tiempo que no estaba aquí
And it's also been a great pleasure being here, that I haven't been here for a long time.
extrañaba estar aquí. Me da gusto verlos a todos,
I really miss being here, and I'm happy that I'm here.
especialmente porque hay siempre una buena manera de trabajar con todos ustedes.
Because there's also an amazing work relationship that we have
Y
together.
desde luego queremos agradecer también a Yolanda Alcántar,
And we also want to thank Yolanda Alcántar,
porque sabemos que ella es la que hace un excelente trabajo
because we know that she does an excellent job,
en conjunto con todos ustedes
and with the work with you guys too,
y con la comunidad.
and with the community.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Señora, ¿cómo te llamas?
Gema Pérez, I'm sorry.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Wow, look at you go. I know dos más cervezas, por favor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Dora Hernandez, and I'm here on behalf of La Colonia Mexicana from Shafter. Yes, I want to ditto what everybody else said. We appreciate the collaboration of the Public Works Department, especially Yolanda, for physically attending our AB 617 committee meetings and firsthand seeing what the residents need, what the outlying areas need, and we appreciate all that input and her work from that department also. But I do have a negative comment, and Supervisor Couch, we've been trying to meet with your staff or whoever's in charge of the park in La Colonia. There are some concerns, especially like for the, I don't know who's in charge of it, but when Carl Brewer was here, he told us that the first phase of construction of La Colonia Park was not going to include any playground equipment for the children. So we've been having regular meetings in our community, and that does not go well with the mothers, whoever is involved in the community. So that's one of the items that we would like to clarify with your staff or whoever's in charge of it. So what I want to know is, when was the first phase? Was that this fiscal year? He had said that January, February, they would approve the permits. And through an email we got, they said June would be the starting date of construction. And then we got another email saying that it would be August of this year. So on the ensuing phases, I'm supposing that there will be enough funds to construct the park and the court, the basketball court in its entirety. So I would like to have a meeting as soon as possible with your staff and whoever is in charge of the park at this time.
Buenas tardes a toda la mesa, especialmente al chairman y a la señora Yolanda
Especially David Couch and Yolanda Alcantara
por el tremendo trabajo que han estado haciendo en los últimos años.
for all the amazing work that you've done in these couple years.
Mi nombre es Refugio Valencia y yo trabajo con el Centro en Raza, Pobreza y el Medio Ambiente.
My name is Refugio Valencia and I work for Center Race Poverty and the Environment.
Miembro de la ganga de Gustavo Aguirre.
I'm the gang from Gustavo Aguirre.
Después de darle las gracias a todos ustedes por su tremendo trabajo, también le traemos un poco más de tarea al Supervisor David Couch.
After thanking you, we also want to include extra work for David Couch.
Que necesitamos agregar algo más de las necesidades de la colonia mexicana, Mr. Couch.
We wanted to add more to our Mexican colony that is needed.
Resulta que los estudiantes de high school necesitan una sombra donde esperan el bus.
We also are wanting to have a shade for the high school that are waiting for the bus.
En el pasado ya estuvimos preguntándole al distrito escolar y dijeron que era tarea de usted.
We asked the school district and they told us that it's your job.
Como usted sabe, siempre áreas de la ciudad y áreas del condado, pues siempre se arriman o se quitan cuando hay trabajos que hacer y en este caso venimos a abogar por estos estudiantes porque, como ustedes saben, ahorita las temperaturas están muy fuertes, el sol está muy fuerte y ellos necesitan una sombra mientras esperan el bus.
This is a work that we wanted to work with you. Temperatures are getting high. Children are waiting for the bus and would want to work with you and see what ways we could collaborate to make that feasible.
Afortunadamente o desafortunadamente para usted, pues usted nos ha enseñado que tiene muchas habilidades, tiene muchos contactos con agencias, con donde quiera puede usted agarrar los recursos para estas cosas, así que esperamos que no sea diferente.
Fortunately, we know that you have a lot of contacts, you have a lot of movements that you could do to make this feasible, so that's why we're here to request that work with us.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to add that the high school students wait for the bus where the sump is, corner of Mantle and Burbank. So that's an area that's already has some sidewalk, but canopy or something to shade them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That is the end of item 1, I think. That takes us to item 2, public presentations. This portion of the meeting is for persons. By the way, I took notes on everything that was said there, so I don't want you to think I didn't hear you and wasn't listening. So Public Works, despite the great job you've done, we have more to talk about apparently. On item 2 is public presentations, where this is the portion of the meeting we're reserved for those of you that would like to make a comment on anything under the jurisdiction of the board but not on today's agenda. Try to keep our comments to 2 minutes. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public presentation or public comment? Thank you. Please give us your name and proceed.
Good afternoon. David Abbasi. I'm just here to finish some comments from earlier today. Your criminal actions, the intimidation and harassment, denial of services and retaliation, it needs to end. We need outside agencies investigating, as we cannot trust you, the sheriffs, or any department within Kern County. Our government is ran by a bunch of dangerous criminals and has no legitimacy. So please, don't let the sheriffs handle this investigation with Scribner. Lorelei, I see, is still in charge of the permit schemes where you give permits to people who pay you the bribes or extortion money. I'm being threatened with arrest just for entering some Kern County offices for being a whistleblower. You should know by now that karma is not kind to those who would do wrong to me. Just look at, again, Philip Ganong, Leticia Perez, Evan Demestahas, and now Zach. Other matters, can we put forward a resolution where Kern doesn't agree to pay for genocide at taxpayer expense? Palestinians should be free and have their own sovereignty.
Chairman Couch, this is not under the jurisdiction of the board. It's your
That's a good
discretion.
point.
That's fine. Okay. So, Leticia, I noticed you denied involvement with Zach Scriver having any relations, but your denial didn't seem very genuine.
I don't think this is under the jurisdiction of the board either.
Okay, so I think there should be some investigation, however, which may be under the jurisdiction of the board to investigate. Christian Romo is another one who you should investigate. He recently committed election fraud. He is running for, or ran for, District 5 Central Committee, Democratic Central Committee, but lives in District 2. His neighbor, Boljit Chima, right next door to him on Slatestone Street, told me he still lives there in December when he pulled papers. So, you know, you guys should do something about that. And $500,000 for a psychiatrist? I just noticed this on the agenda this morning. That seems fishy, especially when there's applications for evaluation and involuntary detention for mentally disordered individuals.
Mr. Bossi,
Abuse of power is something that happens a lot
we
here.
have exceeded the 2 minutes at this point.
It's just a concern, all right? So
Thank
don't
you.
abuse your power for that. And thank you for not arresting me earlier today for speaking or for anything else that normally doesn't involve arrest.
I don't have, none of us here have the ability to arrest you, so
I think Leticia has power that she can do that or wants to, and I'm being
I
denied
wasn't aware that
services.
Leticia had special powers that none of us had, but thank you. I appreciate you being here today.
Hello, Paul Infesti. I am in District 3, Kern County. So this morning, the board was presented an opportunity to revisit via DVD with David Clements, an out-of-state visitor who hogged up public comment from county residents at the January 24th meeting of last year. I remember well because I was next in line to speak, and despite the fact that the chair of the meeting, Jeff Flores, repeatedly called on me as the next speaker, Clements refused to hand over the mic as he rambled on and on. He finally relented after speaking for 6 minutes, but only to hand it to another speaker who had crowded in front of me, one who had on several occasions threatened the board with a military tribunal and subsequent firing squad. Both of them were adherents of QAnon. I'm not bringing this up because of the memory, but because they presented the video. I was thinking, yeah, I remember that too. Bob Price of the Bakersfield Californian wrote that Clements was a whack job. But my impression of him was far more akin to Professor Harold Hill, a run-of-the-mill con man who traveled from town to town with his mantra. You got trouble, my friends, right here in Bakersfield, with a capital B and it rhymes with E and it stands for elections. Alas, unlike the Music Man, there was no Marion the librarian to reform him in the third act of his performance here. Bringing up quickly the the Dominion machines. I can't believe that the Dominion machines are a main concern because they don't grow legs and go out and harvest those ballots. They're not stuffing ballot boxes either with ballots. And I also want to congratulate the winners of the election, David Couch and Philip Peters outright, and Leticia Perez, who came in the top of the two for the runoff, especially for Peters, because he has acknowledged that in his district there's very important connections to our country's space program, and that is completely opposite of what one of his competitors was running, because she doesn't even believe man has ever landed on the moon. So congratulations for that. You are in the world of sanity. Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who'll be next?
Good afternoon. My name is Bianca again. I work for Center of Race, Poverty, and the Environment. I want to thank the board for all the amazing work you've done in the past for the notification. We came to you tremendous times about the AB 617 program, the air protection program that we have in the community of Shafter, Arvin, and Lamont. We want to thank you for the amazing work you did with the Ag Commissioner, that he finally is able to work with the community. He's open to have an open discussion with the community, so that is a big step forward. But we have some negative outcomes coming from the state. DPR was not able to represent the county where we wanted them to step up. That's the downfall that we do have, but we do have at the moment $250,000 allocated out in the air, and the community and the residents and the CSC have decided to divert those funds for road improvements, and also $6 million extra from the SERP that we have that has not been used, and we want to have it accessible for the Board of Supervisors to do projects in the community of Shafter. I know that Yolanda's not here, but we have some extra money out here. There's $6 million out floating around that we're going to vote on in the month of June with the community of Shafter. All the residents are all in agreement to doing that work, and we want to come to you and offer that money to the county to do that work and to provide those services. I know that we've been working together and seeing all these improvements in the area, but having that extra money does make an advantage for these communities that have been burdened. So I wanted to offer that to you and see if David Couch, if you're open to work with the community. It's an extra job for you, but I think it's very flexible that we're able to come to you and help, ask for help in these communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I respond to that real quickly? I'm assuming that you all are going to meet the AB 617 committee, and your recommendations will go to the Air District Board first, the Air District staff, and then the board, and then would finally get to us.
Yes,
Correct?
but
Okay.
we did the first initial to have it in the agenda to do a consensus vote, and they'll go to the Air District Board.
Thank you.
So you'll see it soon.
Okay. Hi.
Good afternoon again. My name is Diana Mireles, a community organizer with Center Race Poverty and Environmental. Well, like we mentioned, that thank you again for all the work, and I want to apologize to just not thanks to the rest of the board members, because with the support of all the rest of the boards, the supervisors cannot do all this job. So thank you. And I'm here just to, a little bit advance, to present our next wish list for the next years. So, and I'm going to present them to you. So, and hopefully we can have a meeting in the future with the supervisor and with the CAO, so and we can talk about the projects. This is just a draft; it's not finalized. I'm working on that. So, and you can, I can contact in their office for the next Wednesday. You're available for our next meeting.
Please give that to our
Thank you.
Ms. Kraus. Thank you. Any other public presentations today? Okay, seeing none, go to board member announcements and reports, item 3. Don't see any of those. I think that takes us to item 49. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, item 4, then 49. Item 4 is a public hearing to make a determination of a public nuisance and for a petition to impose administrative penalties for continued violations of, do you want me to read all those? Various Kern County ordinance codes? I'll just say it that way. On a property located at 20363, I don't know how to say that, Sasia Road, S-A-S-I-A Road in Tehachapi. Mr. Champlin, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Couch, members of the board. Before you today is what you've said. It's a request to determine public nuisance and a petition to impose administrative penalties. Just let me, I'll start with some background on this and get to how we got here today. So today we were setting a hearing to consider the petition by the Public Works Department to determine a zoning and grading code violations that exist on this parcel, and to find that they are public nuisance and impose administrative penalties. The owner continues to hold unsanctioned and unpermitted public events for profit on private property without the benefit of land use approvals, temporary event permit, or grading permits in violation of Kern County Ordinance Code sections. The site consists of a 19.4 acre parcel within an A exclusive agricultural zoning. Kern County Ordinance Code section 19.12.030 requires a conditional use permit for the operation of a test track. In consultation with the Planning and Natural Resources Department, we have determined that the events being held are not incidental to a residential use or other by right use permitted in an A zone district. We believe that the evidence in this case will show that the owner continues to hold events in disregard for the notice and orders and cease and desist letter sent by Planning and Natural Resources on September 22nd, 2023. So now I'll run through the history on this and the code enforcement and the code compliance issues. So we had visited this property due to complaints in every situation. The first time being June 1st, 2021, second time June 30th, 2022, April 12th, 2023, and September 27th, 2023, and more recently, we have visited this site May 1st of May 1st of 2024. So in the first several incidents, we did find that the violation to be unfounded. But more recently, going back to September 27th of 2023, the complaint was received alleging an upcoming event without permits, a flyer advertising a mud bogging event scheduled for October 6, 2023 through October 8th, 2023 was submitted with the complaint. Based on the flyer advertising an event, the department notified the owner in a 7-day notice in order to abate by U.S. mail. On October 6th and 7th, Code Compliance Division conducted an inspection and found a full mud bogging event taking place on the premises. Recently, a flyer advertising a mud bogging event scheduled for May 24th through the 27th, 2024 was submitted by way of email. Based on the flyer advertising an event, the department notified the owner in a 14-day notice in order to abate the violations. The owner claims that he does not believe that he is in violation of the county ordinance code and that the gatherings are only a personal group of friends that come over for a weekend of outdoor fun. Online content has been discovered indicating that the owners do operate a mud racing park operation, including postings on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and TicketBud that further support staff's findings that these are organized events. The department is requesting your board consider two separate actions today. The first is to find the site has an unpermitted track course facility and has been holding events in violation of the county zoning ordinance for not having a conditional use permit for the permanent track course facilities and for not having a temporary event permit each time they hold an event as required by Kern County Ordinance Code section 19.02060. The second is to impose administrative penalties against Ronald Jelsvik and Michael Jelsvik and the Jelsvik Trust for these violations. We believe that the facts and circumstances as we know them support the initial administrative penalty be set at $5,000 for the violations that have occurred. It's come to our, and something new today that's come to our attention is when we gave them the 14-day notice to abate, we have not received correspondence back from them at this point. We haven't heard from them, but we have sent officers out there, and there has been some abatement work done on the property. And to our knowledge, to some credible information that we've received through social media, they have indeed canceled the event for this upcoming weekend. So with those in light, the rest of this board letter was going to instruct you that we would be returning in future events, that they scheduled for future, more events. But if they are going to abide by this notice and order, then I will just leave that part out of our presentation today. And so that being said, we hold with the administrative penalties for the past events that were held in direct violation of letters that were sent to them and notice and orders to abate the property. This concludes my prepared remarks, but staff is here. I'm here along with Al Rojas with Code Compliance for any questions that you may have.
Okay, any questions from the board before we open the public hearing? Okay, I'd like to open the public hearing and receive public comment. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this item? Please come down to the front and come to the microphone and state your name and proceed. Good afternoon.
I have a couple of exhibits, and I think somebody was going to help me with those.
She hasn't.
My name is Gerard Fisher. My wife and I live on Pegasus, which is one street to the east of Sasha Road where these events are held. It's about a quarter mile from my house to there. And the sound, the fumes, the rock bands, the dust, it might as well be right at my doorstep. These are tremendous events, extremely offensive to everyone in the neighborhood. I agree with everything in the very careful report put together by Code Compliance, but I want to elaborate on 2 points which are because it's hard in pictures and in writing to convey the full extent of what is going on. And I have, on page 4, one thing has to do with the size of this. On page 4 of your agenda material, you will see the lot, which is 20 acres, and it's Zone A. But what I think you also need to know is that the Jelsviks own a 80 acres that are all grouped together. And the event spills across 2 of those, not just the one showed on that map. And if you look at the map that has been marked as an exhibit in red crosshatch, I show you the original property that has been subject to investigation. But immediately to the north, you will see that there is a property that is zoned, not agricultural, but estate. And in fact, you can see the Jelsvik property is actually surrounded by a state zone property, which tells you something about the propriety of this activity in this area. But in any event, the northern property owned by the Jelsviks is the other half of where all these events are taking place, and they're taking place on a state-zoned property. And I'd ask to have the second exhibit put up, which is a Google Earth map. And this basically shows the 2 parcels. I've drawn roughly by hand a red line that divides the southern portion, which has been the subject of this investigation, and the northern estate zone part, which is the other half. And if you take a look at this, what you will see in the middle are basically mud pits. And to the south, you'll see a little race course that's sort of a squiggly deal. But on the estate zone portion, you will see 2 long lines, which are drag strips. This is where they have drag races, full out, wind out diesel truck races, which can be heard in Stallion Springs, which is 2 miles away. That's a good way of quantifying how loud this is. And then to the north of that, on the estate zone property, you see what is an obstacle course. And I'm just going to conclude by saying there is the physical extent and there is the noise. Every one of these events, and we've had 4 or 5 now, have hosted typically 4 rock bands blasting for 3 days. And again, picking my favorite measure, heard by the residents of Stallion Springs, 2 miles away. They're listening to it, and if you can just project what that means for the people in the immediate area, it becomes unlivable for 3 days. I mean, frankly, if there's another one, I'm going on vacation for a while. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Richard Koenig. My wife and I live
I'm sorry, what's your last name, sir?
Koenig, Koenig.
Thank you.
We live just east of the property that's shown here. And we raise horses. And I will let you know what happens during a typical show that they have. Under the title of Mud Monkeys, our neighbors are using this property in a manner that is not consistent with agriculture, where the product is livestock. They do trucks driving through water-filled trenches that have now been filled in. Motorcycles and four-wheel vehicles hill climbing. One year they had up so high, they had little kids up there, and they'd be on their trikes, if you will, three-wheelers. And I heard one little boy that had microphones with him crying because he was afraid. So they brought him down further so that he would not be afraid to come down the hill at a high speed. These activities are very, very, very disturbing to the people that live there and the animals that we have. It's a campsite. They keep their campers there for 2 or 3 days because it could be a fire hazard. And it's just a place that you wouldn't want to have your family. And these events are increasing at an alarming rate, number of participants. Again, it's zoned A, livestock. These activities are noisy and destructive. On the west side of our horse barns, where we have some stallions, the outside panels are 7 foot high, 24 foot long, and attached numerous places to this building. During the last one in October 6 and 8, those horses actually tore those off the barn and pushed them aside. The horses didn't get hurt, thank goodness, but it is just crazy that we have to put up with this, especially when they have no authority to do this work. And the panels that I put up there were, like I said, 7 by 24, covered with belting from used in rock quarries, and they weigh about 1,500 pounds apiece. And these animals were able to push them around. And I just think that we need to somehow come to an agreement with those owners that this is not acceptable in this kind of an environment. Agriculture, residential, and like Gerard was saying, people heard it 2 miles away. It's tough to get a night's rest when that's going on. They had 6 or 7 bands in the last one, and I'm happy to hear these gentlemen tell us that the one scheduled for this weekend has been terminated, canceled. So that's positive. But I've been sending documents to code compliance since 2021. And until we got code compliance to agree to come out on a weekend, they don't work weekends. They agreed to come out on a weekend, and that's when this document that they prepared was put together. They did a good job. I just want to thank them for that. Thank you for having this hearing.
I'm going to assume from your comments that you're in favor of the staff's recommendation. Correct?
Thank you.
Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other speakers on this item today?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Return it to, I'm sorry? Oh. Thank you. I'll close the public hearing and I'll return it to the board here. Is there any comments that, Mr. Champlin, that you think you need to put on the record based on what you've heard, or any further comments you have?
Chairman Couch, members of the board, I just wanted to address the multiple parcels. This violation does take place over multiple parcels, but because of the nature of this, and administrative penalties are not something we take lightly, and so we weren't going to put administrative penalties on every parcel. We were going to put it on one time for the whole event. So that's just some clarification I'd like to add.
Okay, Supervisor Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you to the two speakers that came before us from Tehachapi. I appreciate your patience and your perseverance, and sorry that this has happened. You have a unique rural lifestyle, so we want those bad actors to be in agreement with our laws and our zoning ordinances. And you mentioned, let's come to a mutual agreement with them. I don't believe in coming to a mutual agreement with them. I believe in unilateral enforcement on our side. As far as I'm concerned, they have no say in any agreement. That kind of presupposes they have equal say. But I know that you meant well. So what I'm saying is, I agree with staff's recommendation. I think that we should impose and make them come into compliance with our zoning ordinance, and this has gone on for far too long. And I'm sorry about the impacts to you and your property and your neighbors. So I would absolutely support staff's recommendation to adopt the resolution, to approve the assessment of penalties, and to direct the mailing from our staff to the property owners.
I have a question. You made a, thank you, are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. You seem to indicate that your recommendation might be different than what was in the board letter, or you just didn't want to go through all the board letter with us?
Yeah, Chairman Couch, I don't want to change the recommendation, but the board letter initially had that we would be prepared to come back to your board at a time later if the events continue to happen and impose escalating administrative penalties until they got the picture here that this needs to stop. And so,
but that's still part of your recommendation.
the recommendation, I don't believe the recommendation actually had that. That was just something we were going to note in the board letter. It was in the board letter that was what we intended to do, but there's nothing in the recommendation because that's violations that haven't happened. So we're not going to ask you to move on anything that hasn't happened. It's all theoretical at that point. So nothing's changed in the board recommendation. I just kind of wanted to address things have changed. Things have changed recently based on evidence that we have that they're abating the violations.
Can you clarify the amount of the penalty?
So the initial penalty that we're asking for is $5,000 for the events that have already taken place. And in the event that they continue to have events, then we will come back to your board the next time for $7,500 administrative penalties.
All right, thank you. This is in District 2. We have an absent supervisor, so I'll make the motion on staff's recommendation.
Okay, thanks.
A motion, and we have a second from Supervisor Flores. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scribner.
Okay, thank you. So we just approved the staff's recommendation, gentlemen. All right, that takes us to item 49, which is the plan, specifications, and notice to contractors for Riverside Park Restoration Project number 1650.7098.23 in Kernville. Mr. Hill. Good afternoon. We can hear 49 and 50 concurrently. We're going to vote on them separately, so let me also indicate that item 50 is to identify the low, responsive, and responsible bid and approve contract number 1650.7075.19 with Taylor Jane Construction LP for the Lake Webb West Boat Launching Facility Repair Project in the amount not to exceed $1,233,862. Sir.
Chairman Couch, members of the board, again, just here to briefly present some great news. These are for two projects, one taking place in District 2 and one taking place in District 1. So thank you for that. So as you recall, unprecedented snowfall in late 2022 and 23 resulted in massive flood damage in KRV. Some of that damage was sustained in Riverside Park in Kernville. This gives you an indication. That is a picture of the park with over 8 feet of water in it at the time. So significant damage was done to that park. This project is to restore that park to its previous condition, with a couple of changes that are improvements approved by FEMA. This is a FEMA-funded project. It is construction estimate at $1,141,560. The scope of work is to repair and replace missing and damaged concrete walkways, and I'll show you some pictures of those in a minute. Picnic tables, benches, barbecue, replace sand and safety play surfaces, replace the damaged basketball court, and add striping for 2 pickleball courts. Replace the swing set, rehab existing exercise equipment, and replace one piece of exercise equipment. Replace the turf and the entire irrigation system, and regrade the kayak launch area, and restore electrical service.
Wow.
These two slides show the damage. You can see those large slabs that was the previous concrete walkway. You can see the concrete that was moved because of the flood around that chair, and then other damage, the picnic table there. That is the old pump house that will be replaced, and the swing set is leaning and it needs replacement as well. This is a good feature that we're going to replace the basketball court because of damage to it and undermining of it. But in reaction to and directly in response to community input, we're going to stripe it as a basketball court, but also stripe it for pickleball. So Supervisor Couch, you can go up there and play pickleball anytime you want. So that's actually, the community wants that, and we're able to accommodate it within the project, so that's great. This is a fairly new play structure, and it sustained no damage, but all of the safety surfacing was damaged and removed. So we are putting in resilient new pour-in-place ADA safety surfacing for that park as well. So we're pretty excited about that. This is a shot of the park itself and the kind of hash marked area there. Hatched area will get all new sod and all new irrigation system. And I would like to point out that this irrigation system previously was a hand watering system where we had to go in and put sprinklers in areas we wanted to have them watered periodically. So it was labor intensive. A person had to be there while we're watering. FEMA's allowing us to upgrade the system to a controlled system, so we won't have to do that anymore. It'll also be more efficient with water as well as manpower. If your board approves the plans and specs today, bid opening will be in July. We'll issue contract a couple of weeks later. Construction is planned to start in July and will complete in January of 2025. Because it is the mountains and because it's completing in January, there may be some weather delay, but that's our current plan, basically 6 months of work. So on to the Lake Webb project. The Lake Webb boat launch sustained damage over the years and then finally failed. A portion of it did. So we are we've got a grant to cover most of the cost of the boat launch repair at Lake Webb. Lake Webb there's two lakes at Buena Vista. One is Lake Webb, that's the boating lake, boating, jet ski. Lake Evans, the smaller lake, is the fishing lake. The project takes place at the boating lake, Lake Webb. This gives you an indication of where in that facility that boat launch is. It's a big lake, and this is a kind of an aerial view of the actual boat launch that we're going to be doing the work at. So this funding source primarily is State of California Natural Resource Agency, Department of Park and Recreation, Division of Boating and Waterway grant. The project consists of demolishing the existing concrete boat ramp, installation of precast boat ramp planks, and construction of a new boarding float, driving of precast concrete guide piles, and repairing the 2 existing boarding floats. The construction of an ADA sidewalk and concrete pavement, rehab of 1 ADA restroom stall, and modification of the existing fish cleaning station to meet ADA standards. If your board approves the plans and specs today, we anticipate construction to start in June. If the board approves the contract today, we expect construction to start in June. We're timing that with the end of Lightning in a Bottle. We obviously don't want to start construction while they're doing the festival or demobbing. Project duration is 150 working days, and anticipated completion is January of 2025. And I always add this Adopt a Park thing at the end of our parks presentations. We're continuing to get more and more individuals interested in adopting parks. That's gaining some momentum, and we're happy with. We can always use more help, but we're happy with the help that we've gotten. So that is the end of my comments, and I'm ready for any questions you may have.
All right, I see Supervisor Peters and Perez have punched in. You want me to go to the public first, or do you want to go first?
Either way.
I'll be fast, Couch. Thank you. Regarding the Adopt a Park program, thank you so much. Thank you for continually bringing it up, because this is how we make it work over time, right? Is the momentum building and the word of mouth building. At Bell Terrace, we've already had a group go out twice, maybe 3 at this point, but I know twice for certain, which is just so astonishing to me that it's actually happening. To see it come into fruition is really exciting, Jeff, because the community's got to step up and be partners in maintaining these public spaces and public assets. It's their money too that's paying for it. Yeah. And we've got to see that, right? That this is ours and we have to protect it. But really, thank you, because it's exciting. I can't believe it's happening. But it is. In my district, at our Bell Terrace Park, it's already happened. So that's just a little competition for my colleagues.
I think that is South of the Tracks is the name of the organization that is doing Bell Terrace Park. Yeah.
Jeff, I just wanted to say I really appreciate all the work you guys are doing on these parks. I know that Kernville and Kern River Valley really need some help up there, especially after all the damage that we saw from those storms. I know we're still working on Sierra Way, but we have done some work up there. You guys have done work at Tank Park. You guys are just about to finish up the skate park up there that the community's been asking for many years. And I know that they're really excited to see all the improvements that are going to be coming with Riverside Park. Hopefully, weather permitting, we can get that done before Whiskey Flat Days next year. I know that would be greatly appreciated, but I also know you guys are hard at work on it, so thank you very much for all your guys' efforts on it.
I'll ask our lone public member if he'd like to make a comment on this. Seeing none? Mr. Hill.
Okay, I would like to comment about a previous comment in public session, if I could.
Sure.
Also, I did talk with Dora Hernandez on her way out, and we'll put her in contact with Isaac and Michelle with regard to both scope of work and the timing of the work in La Colonia. We're through the conditional use permit for La Colonia and ready to submit to the Board of Supervisors, or to the building department for permitting. So we should see construction start in July or August.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Peters, would you like to make a motion on item 49? It's in District 1.
Yes, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve item 49.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scribner.
I'll make a motion to approve the staff recommendation on item 50.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Supervisor Scribner.
And with that, I
Motion to adjourn?
look for a motion to adjourn to Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 9 a.m. I have one, so without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.